To talk about repurposing and reusing, and in this art studio, well, when they needed a table and chairs, instead of just getting an old folding table and chairs, how about a repurposed one? Look at these chairs. These were actually picked up at yard sales, estate sales, along the way. It's old and vintage, and it's great. Look at all the layers of paint. It just adds to the character. And this table, it's ample for lots of people to be seated here. And I love the legs, great looking legs on this piece. Take a look at this bench. It's from reclaimed wood, and the legs are from ladder back chairs. So the next time you reach for a folding chair, think about a vintage one instead. Well, that is in Jenny Speaks workshop, and she's conducting all kinds of workshops this summer, and you can get in touch with her on my website, lifestylewithDeniseSimons.com. Well, we're talking about summertime, and when you're talking about summer, you're talking about going out on the porches, but sometimes they can be very hot and humid, and you need a little shade, and that's why our next guest is really important. Brett Gordon of Sunsetters, but also EcoViews. You have so many different products. You're really a one-stop shop. But before we get into the awnings and all of the nice features, because that is just so hot right now, tell me about some of your other products that you carry, because I know I've used you as well for some of those products.
Well, that's exactly right. We do replacement windows, replacement door systems. We also do exterior modeling such as siding, covering the soffit and the eaves with metal, and so you don't ever have to paint those again, and a sundry of other products too. So
really, when people are doing some projects around the house, they just need to give you a call, because you probably have the product to do it.
Oh yes, ma'am, I think we do.
Well, something that's really hot right now, it's going to be hot soon, but these retractable awnings. Tell me about this product.
Okay. We're a local dealer for Sunsetter awnings, which they're the #1 selling awning in America, and they're a retractable awning where you put them over the back decks or porches or patios, whatever they have, and they're meant to, because here in Middle Tennessee you just cannot use those areas. And in this picture right here, we see a couple out there that are just be able to enjoy the outdoors and even on those really hot days, just like we have one today. Right,
and it's really takes away the glare and also those UV rays. We really need to protect our porches, and we want to treat, one of the things you talk about is we really want to treat the outdoor space like we do the indoor space. We want to make those porches a living space.
Sure.
So we've got some more examples of your beautiful awnings. Again, you call this a semi-permanent structure, and tell me again why.
Well, I mean, it's not a permanent structure because it mounts to brackets that are mounted to the wall or to the roof, and those can be removed, and those, whatever it was attached to, can be taken away. So you know, it's if they do move or they want to go to something else, they can take those down and build something else there if they want to. So.
Well, what I like about the retractable also is that on a really hot day, you can put out, you know, the awning, but just say it was a nice cool day and you kind of needed a little bit of that sunshine coming down. This retracts very momentarily. Now, I've actually seen the demonstration. You weren't able to bring it here because it's so big. It would literally, well, we would be all shaded. We wouldn't have any light on our faces, would we?
No, we wouldn't.
But what I like about it now, and did you tell me it has a remote as well?
Yes, it does. It's got a remote control that's got 3 buttons on it. One button to send it out, one button to retract it back, and then a middle button is to stop it at any place. So if somebody only wants to have it out so far, like if it's in adverse weather conditions and you don't want to have it all the way out, but you still want to have some shade, you could just stop it 4 or 5 feet out or whatever you want to do with that.
That's interesting. Now, have they gotten sophisticated enough to put these on your iPhone so if you're away you can retract it?
They haven't done that yet, but I'm sure it's going to come someday.
Well, why don't you create that and then you can get the patent on it? I get 10%.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do
Well,
that.
we have some more examples of this. Now, what is this? This is not the retractable awning.
This is a solar shade that goes on the exterior of the windows, very similar to what our previous client was on here talking about on the inside. This is on the outside.
Wow,
And,
so now we have a treatment that we can actually use on the outside. Now, tell me how this works.
this is, once again, it's motorized and it can be solar powered. And what it does, it's for those areas like over a window or doors that you're getting a lot of heat gain, but maybe you don't either want to put a awning in that area.
Okay.
But you do want to control the heat and everything. That's what you use that for. So, or if you want to spend less money, because it's a lot less money than putting up a retractable awning.
Oh, I see. And so that you're getting that energy saving as well.
Yes. Exactly.
And again, on the retractable awnings, we've got some more examples of that. You can use this at any structure. Now, we keep seeing a certain width of this, but now is this by the foot? Do you decide how wide? What's the largest width that you've done that keeps the structure safe?
Sunsetter has a maximum of 20 foot wide.
Oh wow, that's large.
Yes.
20 foot, like a 20-foot tent. I mean,
Yep.
you really are getting tinted.
Right, and it can go out a maximum almost 12 feet out, so it's almost 250 square feet that you cover there. And but they also, I always tell people that when you're standing inside the house, you're looking out and you're seeing the underneath of the awning. It gives you you're seeing the different colors and everything. It adds a dimension and depth from the inside of the house. It feels like you're at another room, but it's got fashion to it too because of the color and everything, so you can add to everything.
Well, I'm glad you talked about fashion. In fact, last week Shirley Horowitz was on and she was talking about porches, and she was talking about just this thing is when you're looking out the window from the interior, you want to make sure that you have something architectural element, something pretty. And I want to show some of these options that you have here of the fabrics, because you have there are a lot of choices. Now, just say for example somebody says, wow, I think I want the red. Can you get samples of this, kind of show them what that was going to look like in their home?
Exactly.
And then also the stripes. You've got the stripes, and like you said, oh wow, now this is if you're brave, you could do a little cobalt. What is the most popular color? I'm curious.
It seems to be on this side over here.
Okay,
there's
show me.
The very bottom one, I believe it is. It's called a nutmeg tweed. A lot of people like to go with the solid. And that's a very popular one. And then probably the next most popular one here in the Nashville area is still on the same side that you've got there. It is the what's called this one right here, which is called a cranberry. And you got to realize that the red on here is about the same width.
Oh, it's much larger than what we're seeing here.
Exactly.
And so the cranberry seems to be a really popular color here in Nashville. I love that. Now, let me ask you this, because if you choose a black, I noticed that you got several darker colors. Is that going to affect how it feels underneath? Is it going to darken your area? Have you noticed that it's a little bit darker if you want to keep the light?
No, that part seems to be the same. It's all blocking the light, but what, and I don't notice a noticeable difference in heat underneath there either, because that's a question I get all the time. I've been under all of them, and it seems to feel the same. And Sunsetter says it's going to be at least 20 degrees cooler underneath the awning than what it would be without it there.
Oh wow. And you know, when we have these 80-degree days, if you're thinking 20 degrees, so you're staying nice and cool and collected underneath. You're not worrying about the harsh sunlight in your face. And also, if you want to just sit out there and read a book, I mean, that gives you, a lot of people are using their electronics out there. It takes takes away that glare. Now, one of the things that, you know, we always love a party around here, and we were talking about a product that you can also add to your retractable awning that would kind of give it a party atmosphere at night. Tell me about that.
Exactly. We don't have pictures of it, but what it is, it's LED lighting. It's new this year for Sunsetter. It's new for any awning that mounts directly on the arms that go out, and it gives such clear LED light underneath that you can have your awning out at night, and instead of using those little lights that catch all the bugs that you normally have. And they've got 4 different settings of light. They've got a high, a low, and 2 medium range. It's a dimming set of LED lights. And you don't have any cords or anything hanging from it. It all runs off the same remote as the awning.
Now, what do you do if one of the lights go out? I mean, do you have like a little replacement bulb, or do they have to call you to do that? Or LEDs last a long time.
Yeah, that's the thing. They last forever, and they use virtually no energy whatsoever either. But there's a strip of them. It comes in a strip, and they would all need to be replaced, but they can get that back from Sunsetter.
Well, I like that idea, because during the day you have the awning and it's blocking, you know, all of the harmful rays. The UV rays too can really wreak havoc on your porch. That's one of the things that you talk about when you've got that. It's keeping all of your products on your porch from fading. Then at nighttime, when you want to have a little party atmosphere, invite some friends over, then you've got the LEDs underneath. And I really like what you just said about that the bugs are not attracted to the LED. Now, PM Lighting, when he was on with us, he told us the same thing, and I think that's very interesting. So having the LED would then let you, you know, it'd be more comfortable.
Oh,
yeah. I like that. Now, the striped awning, I think we have an example of the striped awning here. Stripes are really popular, and I really like this classic look. We've got some iron in the background. We've got the stripe. Do you find that a lot of people like the stripe?
Oh yeah, I think probably over 50% of our customers go with some kind of a stripe, more in the, I haven't checked it lately, but more in the 70-75% range go with some kind of stripe. There's some very few homeowners association that don't allow anything but a solid, you know.
Oh,
but
really?
Occasionally I run into that.
Well, now we know in fashion that if you get the vertical stripes, if you get the horizontal stripes, it make you look bigger, but if you get the vertical, then it makes your, does it make your house look skinnier?
I don't know. I didn't look at it that way.
Well, I love the fact that you're talking about making our porches another outdoor room.
Right.
So literally we are taking our interiors, we're extending that out. It's so funny because we have an awning over ours, over our porch, and a friend of mine was going to drop something off, and she said, oh, do you want me to put it in that first room? And I was thinking, the first room, you can't get into the first room. She goes, no, the one, so she was talking about my porch, because literally you can create a living space outdoor. So that's one of the things you talk about. Also, it gives UV protection. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. It's UVA and UVB protection. Skin Cancer Foundation has recommended these awnings for you know, to help prevent, you know, for us being out in the sun and getting that kind of skin cancer that we have to worry about. And it's a big thing, you know, and so that it gives like 99% UVA protection. So, and
it's also protecting if you have, you know, beautiful fabrics on your porch, because I can tell you that even the decks, if they have harsh sun hitting those, the stain, it's amazing. We were restaining our deck, and we noticed that everywhere the sun was really, you know, anything that had been covered really was virtually untouched, but anything the sun was in, it was bleaching. Right. Because the sun really will do that, right? It does. And not only does that, but it's also coming into your house, which the awning helps prevent that too. Right, from the interiors as well. So, and another thing that we were talking about is adding color to the outside of your house. Now, like you said, check with your homeowners association, find out what they will allow. Now, is there anything that you found with the homeowners as far as color? No, they're pretty good with any color. It's just there's very few of them that say solids only, but there are some out there that do that. Okay.
So.
Now, we've talked about the sunsetter awnings, and I know that you told me, now, are you backed up? I know a lot of people are going to want this product, and they're going to want it like right away. So what is your turnaround time? Generally, when you come out?
It's 2 to 3 weeks to install.
Oh, nice.
So Sunsetter stays pretty good on getting that awning to us within 2 weeks. So they just keep adding more shifts is what they do. So, and if they've got to add Saturday and Sunday, they do that also. So.
Okay, now let me ask you this. When you go out to someone's home, how do you determine if their situation is the right, this is the right product for them? What is generally, what do you talk about when you ask the homeowner?
We go outside and look at where they're wanting the awning.
Okay.
And the first thing we're going to look at is to see if we can mount it in that area to make that awning work. Sometimes there are obstacles in the way. Sometimes you have a fireplace that juts out from the wall and you can't get past that. So it may not work for them in
now,
that case.
so can you install this into brick, stone, wood? Is there anything that you haven't been able to install it into?
No, most homes we're able to do that too.
Okay.
If we can't get into the wall, we can do what's called a soffit mount, where we're getting into the bottom of the roof rafters.
Okay.
And we can hang it that way, or in some certain circumstances, we go on top of the roof.
Okay, and is there, the pitch I know is so important to the rain coming off. Is there a certain, is that what you look for too? Is allowing for the pitch?
Yeah, you've got to have a minimum height, which is 7 foot 6 inches. I still like to go higher than that because I want to get more height. Now if you're short, it'll work okay, but
Now see, that would work perfect for Jackie and I. We could do that, but if you came to visit, you'd probably hit your head. Well, I love this product, and I think that this is the time it's going to start warming up, 20 degrees cooler, so a sunsetter awning, come out, it's retractable, which is really exciting. You can do remote control, also lots and lots of color choices. You want to create that look on the outside by adding all of your fabrics. It's going to protect you from the UV rays as well. So we'll be giving out your information, Brett, so that people can contact you. Thanks for all of your great information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we always like to end our show with a little bit of a party. We give out party favors because every good host gives out party favors. That's coming up right after the break. Don't miss it.